Okay, folks, my apologies for being late. A little bit of technical issues, to say the least. Okay, so I haven't looked at the futures yet, but they should be up. And I'll tell you right now that if they do not close up by the end of the week, that will be a tell. Why should they be up? Huge week this week in terms of news that's come out, quite favorable news, depending upon how you interpret it. First off, we have Trump EU reach tariff deal to avoid trade war. Okay. Face value, headline, should go up, right? Looks good. Looks better than a 15% tariff than a 50% tariff. So check that box. Also, China, U.S. to extend tariff pause another 90 days. That means there will be no trade war. Why? Midterm elections. I've been saying this since the first time they implemented the 90-day threshold. Either they have milestones that China must reach to re-implement the tariffs, or they forfeit. I think that we're done here with any trade war whatsoever with China, because Trump will be too afraid to lose the Senate, possibly the House of Representatives as well during the midterms. Highly improbable, but you never know. So let's go to the futures action. Let's see how we're opening up. Again, we should be up. Let's take a look. We have the E-minis that are opening up by about a third of a percentage point, a little bit more than that, actually. Do we capitalize? Do we move up higher? Or will this be perceived as being a sell the news event? We'll set up a couple of alerts here. We'll see whether or not we gain strength, or do we see, again, selling on the news. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. NASDAQ is up nearly a half percentage point off the session highs. I want to see if we hold this breakout point here. I mean, we just gapped up and through a resistance level. This is going to be a interesting week. Let's take a look at the small caps. Small caps opening up over a half percentage point. Big move up higher here. Again, fading off the highs. I'm putting the alert here because I want to see if we do pull back, do we take out the lows of Friday afternoon's 30-minute reverse, 30-minute bar close candlestick? So equities are doing what they should do right now, and that is move up higher on this big earnings report, weekend. We have the mid caps up over a half percentage point. Again, another fade here off the highs. Now, I can only think that bonds must be moving right now. Let's take a look at the 10-year yield. This is a 4-hour chart to get a better vibe for how the yields are behaving. Not much happening here. Okay. Volatility. Volatility must be getting crushed. Probably new weekly lower lows. If we're not, I would be shocked. Yep. Volatility is getting hammered right now. This is the front month contract, the August contract, and we are down 3.69% on volatility. Let's take a look at the US dollar. Talk a little bit about currencies. The Dixie, despite the good tariff talks, the dollar is lower. Is it a new weekly lower low? It could be. No, it is not. A little bit of a reversal here on the dollar. Let's take a look at the competing currencies. Euro, which has been very strong, is up as well. I shouldn't say as well, is up, coming in off of its highs. Yen, down as well with the US dollar. If you get euro and yen moving up together, the dollar goes down dramatically. Let's check out Bitcoin. That's not Bitcoin. That's Bitcoin. Wow, Bitcoin surging here, up 2.8%. So all very good news for risk assets. Let's check out oil. Oil moving up. Oil had a rough week last week, as did gasoline, but the energy stocks looked very good last week. Oil could be a buy here. If we take out this high here, oil could be a buy. Let's check out natural gas. Natural gas opening down. I mean, this is flat. Natural gas usually opens up or down 3-4%. So this is nothing for natural gas. Very quiet here, consolidating. Let's take a look at other commodities. Live cattle at all-time record highs. Agriculture. Let's go to a weekly chart. A couple of these look really bullish going into the week last week, and wheat was one of them. And I was bullish on it. I thought it would press higher. It did, but it couldn't hold it. It dropped back down into this trading range. ZC, corn. It broke out the week before last, failed to hold that support level last week. Not looking good. Consolidating. I wouldn't buy it yet. ZS is soybeans. Soybeans, very tight Bollinger Band squeeze setting up here. I mean, we don't know which way this is going to fire off. But if we make a higher high, in all probability, it's going to break out to the upside. We need to check out seasonality. Okay. What else do we have? We didn't take a look at the Dow. What's the Dow doing? YM. Dow closing in on all-time highs. Very respectable open here, up 0.41%. Good stuff. All right, let's check in with gold. Gold pulling back here a bit. Interesting candlestick. They gapped it lower. This is a 15-minute candlestick closing in about 30 seconds. This is pretty bullish. If we close this candlestick with a bullish reversal bar, let's take a moment, take a sip of water, see how this closes. Three, two, one, go. There we go. There's a new candlestick. We may get a little bit of a short squeeze here on gold. We have our alerts set. Let's come back to it if it fires off. Silver, doing something similar as to what you're seeing on gold. This could be a higher low on silver. Yeah. It tagged the lower band of support here, reversed higher. Very, very tight Keltner channels and Bollinger Bands here. This thing could rip your face off right now with a squeeze. Gasoline, that's moving up higher. So you have oil moving up, distillates moving up. NQ, let's go back. We'll do a run through again with the major indexes. So we have the E-minis, which are up, holding gains. Let's check in with NQ. NQ, not a good close, that first 15-minute bar. It just tagged the breakout point. So what we're seeing right now is a retest of the breakout point. Let's see if this holds. Let's say hello to folks. Mr. Pete, welcome. Franklin, welcome. Talon, hello to you too. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking here. Bonnie Bean, welcome. Yeah, I don't know what the heck is going on. So Hulk Hogan was trying to buy Hooters restaurants. Deal still on? That's rough. Prayers out to Hulk Hogan, Ozzy Osbourne, Connie Francis. Connie Francis was pretty old, but who else passed away? Malcolm Jamal Warner, The Cosby Show. Young fella, man. Terrible. Lee Cable, welcome. The lovely Jody, welcome. Denny, welcome. Hello to you. Hey back, Tim. All right. So let's see whether or not Talon's right here. Do we get to sell the news event? We have a reason to believe that will be the case. Let's check it out. Okay, so for those just joining in, if you are not part of our forum, head on over there. If you want to get a symbol for me to review, I only do it out of the forum to stay organized. There's the link, no credit card required. And we have a bunch of folks requesting symbols. You would enter it right here. Jody, Lee, everybody with the smiley faces, all very nice. All right, let's do it. Let's talk a little bit about the path of least resistance. Clearly for the S&P 500, hitting all-time record highs last week, the path of least resistance remains higher. Let's overlay the automated trend lines. You had a breakout above quarterly resistance last week, and we closed that. Actually, I'm sorry. Scratch that. We had a breakout above the quarterly resistance level the week of June the 30th. Retest 1, retest 2, follow through. The path of least resistance for the S&P 500 remains to the upside. As for seasonality, weekly view of seasonality, coin flip for the next few weeks as to whether or not we close up or down. And then it gets a little bit rougher in or around late September, October. Let's take a look at the trip cues. Again, the path of least resistance here, automated trend lines, remains to the upside. Speaking of the cues, I think that we are going to get a correction here in the next several weeks. I have a link below of a listicle or a listogram. I don't know what you're supposed to call them, but the support levels on the triple Qs. So it's free. Take advantage of it. No charge. But the path of least resistance here remains to the upside. But what we need to pay attention to is that this is getting very, very tight. We are at the upper band of the rising uptrend channel, and seasonality for July is very, very good. But when we take a look at a weekly chart, this coming week, we're up only 42% of the times. So when we see this gap up on very, very strong news, we worry about the sell the news event. Why have stocks been rallying so much? You have M2 money supply expanding leaps and bounds, lots of liquidity out there. You also have what appears to be a confidence in the Trump administration that they're going to manage these trade talks wisely. And you have to ask yourself the question. It appears as though that is going to be the outcome. We have to still wait for China, but you have my opinion already on that. So if we now have the event, then the anticipation is over. We could get a sell the news event here on equities. Now, moving on to, and by the way, if you like TrendSpider, 35% discount code on YouTube. CON35 is the discount code. Take advantage of it. As for events coming out this week, nothing on Monday. Consumer confidence on Tuesday. Job openings, keep an eye on that. Job openings have been declining. Wednesday, ADP, that's the precursor to the Pimp Mac Daddy of all events, all economic data. That will be Friday's non-farm payrolls. GDP for Q2, that comes out on Wednesday. We have the Fed meeting. Spoiler alert, there will be no rate cut. There will be no rate hike. They will pause. They will do nothing. How do I know? I'll go to it in a second. Thursday, we get employment cost index. Keep an eye on that one. PCE index, that's the Federal Reserve's favorite measure of inflation. And on Friday, we get, again, non-farm payrolls, ISM manufacturing, construction spending, and I guess a final revision to consumer sentiment. I don't know why that would be for July already, but okay. As for valuations, folks, we're going into the new week with, we're going to be, if we close out tomorrow where we're at current on the futures, we'll be above a 39 handle, knocking on the door of a 40 handle on the Shiller PE ratio. We haven't seen that since the dot-com bubble. We are eerily close. We have now taken out the highs and closed there above the October highs of 2021. Equities are priced for perfection. As for the Buffett indicator, we are clearly overvalued. Hey, Pat, welcome. If you could just add those symbols to, if you want me to go over them to the feed here, I would appreciate that because I'm going to forget and I'm not going to be able to remember them. Where was I? So Buffett indicator, we are very, very overvalued. We're coming off the peak. 2 standard deviation move above the historical trend line. So we have grown somewhat over the past quarter into multiples, but we are still extremely overvalued as measured by the rear view mirror multiples of Shiller and the Buffett indicator. And on a forward-looking basis, the forward 12-month PE ratio for the S&P 500 is 22.4, which is above the 5-year average and the 10-year average. Price for perfection here, folks. And for context, for those of you that are new to trading or you just began 10 years ago, hell, 15 years ago, there was a company that was it still trades, but it's a skeleton of what it used to be. Cisco Systems. Nobody talks about it anymore, but it was the NVIDIA of its day, and it made routers that made the internet work. It helped build the internet, and at current, NVIDIA's market cap accounts for a record 3.6% of global GDP. Think about that. Global GDP. And 13.4% of US GDP, more than the entire markets of UK, France, or Germany. For perspective, at the dot-com bubble peak, March 2000, Cisco was 1.6% of world GDP. Think about it. Mind-blowing. Now, how do we know they're not going to cut or raise rates this coming week? Simple. FedWatch tool. There will be no rate cut. There will be no rate hike. They will do nothing. We're going to be watching. September is almost a coin flip. We're really going to be watching October. I think that if we get a continuation move up higher in equities, I think it diminishes the probability of a cut in September because the Federal Reserve is going to start worrying about inflation in equities. And if you see the CRB commodity index rally up strong this week on the news of what appears to be trade deals, which should be anticipatory of higher commodity prices, then why would they cut rates? Why? And jobs, if jobs comes in strong, if jobs come in strong, why would they cut rates? Why? Just to throw fuel on inflation? Doesn't make sense. Earnings this week, it's huge. Huge week. Tuesday, we've been talking a lot. As a matter of fact, I had an alert that just went off. Let's go. We'll come back to this. NQ has broken that support level. We haven't closed there. It could still rally back. So we'll set up an alert here. That'll tell us whether or not we recapture support. Was it just the NQ? ES as well. Actually, the NQ did not fire off yet. It's close. There it goes. Now, ES is the one that fired off. Okay, so you're seeing a little bit of selling here. Still a strong open, but it doesn't matter how we open it. What matters is how we close. We'll set up an alert, see if we recapture some lost real estate here. Okay. Earnings, huge week. I did a video earlier today, and I was chastised for two things. One, my green screen. Two, I made a
Sticker
faux
Mule
pas,
is the
faux pas,
fastest
as
and
we
easiest
say,
way
in the entertainment world of saying I was looking for a 160 price target on UNH. That is inaccurate. I was looking for a 260 handle on UNH. So just to correct the record, and here is a link to that video if should you like to check it out later on. So as Lee Cable mentioned, we have UNH reporting in the pre-market on Tuesday. Merck, Boeing, which we own, Spotify, PayPal, Stellantis, which is Chrysler. After the bell on Tuesday, Visa, Mondelez, that's more of a staple. Starbucks, PPG, Logitech. Nobody really talks about Logitech anymore. Wednesday, we get some banks, international banks, HSBC, Santander, UBS, ADP reports, Altria. Chart's looking really good on Altria. It looks like it's a bull flag setup. Maybe we'll take a look at that chart if I remember it. GE Healthcare, great stock, at least the last time I looked at it. Kraft Heinz, more staples coming out this week. Really, it's after the bell on Wednesday and after the bell on Thursday that matter, because this is going to be the tail of the tape for the triple Qs. Microsoft, they report after the bell on the 30th. Meta, also Qualcomm. Those three are big components of the triple Qs. Then when you fast forward and you move on and over to Thursday after the bell, Apple, Amazon, Apple and Microsoft alone account for the top two market cap stocks of the triple Qs. As go those names, so goes the triple Qs. Before the bell on Thursday, we get MasterCard, some energy stocks, Shell. We get some energy stocks on Friday as well. Bristol Myers Squibb, CVS, that's an interesting one. They're getting more and more market share. Friday after the bell, before the bell. Pardon me. I'm supposed to be professional. I keep screwing up tonight. My apologies. I'm going to turn in my union card. Before the bell on Friday, ExxonMobil, Chevron, Lind. Is that Lind Candies? Enbridge, Colgate-Palmolive, a lot of energy stocks, Dominion, Kimberly-Clark, lots of staples. This is a huge week. And one would expect that these companies come out with strong earnings and good forward-looking guidance. Well, that should take care of the overbought condition on the Schiller on a rearview mirror basis and the forward-looking basis, because earnings guidance should be good. One would hope. Get away from me. Are these quantum stocks you're talking about? All right. So we have Amazon reporting this coming week, and we've known for a while that Bezos has been dumping shares. I didn't know he dumped this much. Bezos dumps $5.7 billion in Amazon stock. Now CNBC buyout rumors swirl. Let's check out Amazon. Could we be seeing a double top here on Amazon? Amazon seasonality is not good the next few weeks. Not good at all. And as for seasonality, pardon me, again, I got to turn to my union card. I'm making mistakes here. Insiders. Wow, look at this. Bezos is dumping a ton of stock, and he's not the only one. Doug Harrington, CEO, Worldwide Amazon Stores. Bezos. So you have a ton of C-suite selling going on here. And they've been doing so for a good portion of the year. You could also take a look at NVIDIA. NVIDIA they don't report earnings until August, I believe. But man, this is one extended stock. And they have been selling a lot of stock. This is the president and CEO of the company, rapidly selling his stock. So, I remember right before the financial crisis, and I think I may have said this, but it's worth repeating, that Blackstone, not BlackRock, Blackstone, they were a private company, and their CEO, Schwartzman, he went public just before the crash in 2007, 2008, and he was dumping a lot of stock. So just beware when these insiders sell. They see what's coming down the pike. And with regard to Bezos, you need to be looking at a couple of things. China is diversifying out of the dollar. China gold holdings have risen from 1% to 6.8% of its reserves since 2015, while U.S. Treasury holdings have dropped from 32% to 22%. We are heading into several reserve currencies supported by gold. I don't want to get into that. I want to stay focused on Amazon for a moment. Amazon, their sellers, what do? They buy goods from China. Declining U.S. dollar, you better hope that the Chinese keep artificially deflating the value of their currency, or else those goods are going to get more expensive, and it's going to become a lot more expensive to sell on Amazon. And let's face it, prices go up on Amazon, prices go up on everything. Also, take a look at buy now, pay never. In reality, buy now, pay later. The transaction value. Remember, these people that do this, they're tapped out on credit cards, and they're buying now to pay never. And these the transaction volume here is really ripping through the ceiling. Lending Tree surveys show that 25% of users now rely on buy now, pay later to buy groceries, up sharply from 14%. This speaks volumes about the health of the consumer right now. So let's not lose sight of the structure, the underlying structure of the U.S. economy right now. And the U.S. consumer is tapped, and it only takes a couple of bad earnings reports, especially out of Microsoft or Amazon, or God forbid Apple, to take this whole thing down really, really quick. And that brings us to saying hello to people. Hey, Bob. Hey, TF Hatter. I'm catching up on the stream. Hi, y'all. Yes, please hit the like button, subscribe. You know the deal. Thank you. Because he's real good at this. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Lee Cable, NVIDIA Prime for a correction. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, this is an ascending wedge formation. We have blown through the upper band. We can pull back here. And again, folks, we're using TrendSpider. Get my 35% discount, CON35. Use the link below on YouTube, link above on Twitter. Look at this. This marks the extreme upper band of resistance. And this is a peak back here in June of 24. Again, a peak in November of 2024. Here we are again. Weekly chart. Let's take a look at a monthly view. Still looks good on a monthly time frame. But the weekly chart is kind of chilling. But they're probably going to spike it up yet again. All right, let's go take a look at what folks are requesting. Do a refresh. Michael Anthony with his Pfizer, dedicated Pfizer guy. We have AI for George, Adobe for Talon, SMR for Jody, Pat. I believe these are quantum computer plays, so let's get to it. AI for George first. I don't know what happened here last week with AI. Big bearish reversal bar. This stock should be doing a lot better than what it is. I can't buy this right now. It's in a triangle formation. It was reject. Well, I can't even say that it was a resistance level, because last week created the resistance level. I'm not aware of what news did this. Looks like it got an upgrade, $50 price target from JP Morgan, yet it closed down. If anybody knows what's going on with AI and why it's got that reversal bar, please let me know. Let's bring up, I want to see what the volume was. Volume was pretty heavy last week. So, you know, I wouldn't buy it quite yet. You know, daily chart, we're grinding up higher. We're holding on to the lower band of support. If there's a supply zone down here at around $24.50 per share. Let's see. Let me bring up volume by price. Here we go. Let's go to a weekly chart. All right, so it looks as though we neared, this is resistance by price over the course of time. So we hit the top of this range, this volume shelf, and it got rejected. To be fair, I mean, we're just off the lows of this volume shelf. Any pullback here to around a 24 handle, I think would be interesting. But until then, I wouldn't buy it unless we were able to broke out above resistance. Let's take a look at Adobe. Adobe's been, let's take this off. It's so noisy. Volume by price. Let's get rid of this. Okay. Let's close this. All right. So Adobe found a bottom here the week of the 14th of April, rallied, pulled back, put in a higher low. I think we're getting a higher low here on Adobe. I would be fine with nibbling on this stock And if and when it breaks out and above 422.44 on Adobe, that would be the end of this bear market that it's been in, because now it would have gone from putting in lower highs and lower lows to now putting in higher lows and higher highs. So I'm growing more bullish. I would nibble, nibble, nibble. Daily chart, not much happening here. Lethargic, consolidating. So I'd be fine with putting on a new bet here. But I would stay very small right now. Wait for strength. Wait for new weekly higher highs. Forget about the daily charts right now. Worry about the weekly charts. Those are the ones that really matter when you have a stock that's been beaten up the way this one has. Now, taking a look at our next chart, how do we get these off here? Pardon me, folks. Oh, here we go. He's losing sight. Oh, really? Is that a fact? Sam Altman? Terrible to hear. Yeah, I'm looking to begin some bull operations on XRP. I really like that. It's pulled back off of the recent highs. Let's talk about what's the next one up here. Let me bring it up on a new screen. Okay. Adobe, that was for Talon. Jody, SMR. New Scale Power Corporation. Let's go to a monthly view. Wow. It's a beautiful chart. I wish I was a part of it, but I can't buy it here. It's probably still going to go up, but on a monthly time frame, you're leaning into the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. Weekly chart, it could still go up here. My price target, if it goes up higher, $60. Daily chart. Daily resistance up here. If it takes a few days to get up there, we could be at $60 on this. So I'm bullish, consolidating nicely, holding support. If you're going to buy it or if you're holding it, I would use a trailing stop loss order and let the market take you out, because the correction here is going to be really, really brutal. We're not there yet. I still think there's more upside, but get ready to pull the cord on that parachute. PFE. I personally think that this is an uninvestable company. The justice is going to have to find its way to the doorstep of this company, and I don't want to be a part of it. So we are in a very, very nasty bear market. I don't see any reason why to buy it here. It broke this critical support level at around $25 a share. Continuation breakdown, now follow through. If it closes above $26 a share, I would if I thought it was investable, I would buy it there. The only way I would buy this stock is on a capitulation sell-off down to the high teens, mid to high teens. The weekly chart is just telling us that there's a lot of overhead supply here. There's no reason to go buying this stock right now until it finally closes above 26, and that could give you a run up to around $29 a share. Right now, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised if this was a bear flag setup. We break and we move down to the high teens. I would avoid this. Pat, QBTS. D-Wave Quantum. Good looking chart. I think you may need to pull back to around 17 bucks a share. Any retest down to that mark, I'd be a buyer. We got a retest. Well, they retested it last week on a weekly breakout. Any retest of 17, I'm a buyer. You have resistance immediately above. I think it can still go up higher even without a retest of 17. I wouldn't chase it personally myself. There's not a lot of upside potential here before hitting resistance. If there's a heavy short interest on the stock, maybe they send it parabolic on a short squeeze. Would I sell puts if they were optionable? I don't know if it is or not. Yeah, I would. Let's see what the seasonality is here. Not a lot of data. It's only 5 years worth of data. I would not use seasonality. So I think the path of least resistance is clearly up on the stock. Do I like the setup for me quite here now? No. Here would have been better on a bounce off of 17. Great follow through. I think it still presses up higher. I'm a little bit chicken to go jumping in at this point in time. BBAI. Very similar to QBTS. It broke out, retested. I think with these names, it's a leap of faith to buy them. So we're building a nice right side of the cup. Another way to look at this is that it's forming a bull flag setup. The longer it continues down here, God, if this retests $6.63, I'm a buyer in a tight descending wedge formation. This looks like a cup with handle formations forming. I like it, not quite yet, but the setup is forming. And I think the same could probably be said for QBTS as well. Let's take a look at BZAI. Again, let's go to the weekly chart before we start talking about the daily chart. Beautiful breakout. Really good volume on the breakout. Some selling last week. Digesting gains. I don't view it as a horrible thing. Here's your base. Here's the breakout. I think you're looking at another bull flag setup. And look at where we found resistance, right at the automated trend lines. Powerful stuff. So it looks as though we're probably going to break out higher. Bullish. These all look bullish. Longer term. Shorter term, the setups are a little bit questionable, but they're forming, no doubt about it. Did I miss anybody here? Tim. IREN. Weekly view. Bearish reversal bar. Automatically, I have to say no. We don't want to buy this right now. The trend is still up, but it's really gone kind of parabolic. We tapped that third standard deviation Bollinger Band in red. We got rejected. It's still a good setup here, but I would look to buy it on a retracement back down. Let's bring up those volume shelves again. Show me 1376 and I'm a buyer, hand over fist, but I would begin bull operations on a retest back down at 1532 per share on IREN. We broke trend on Friday. So I would be a little bit cautious here with this stock. Bearish reversal week, broke support on a daily chart. I think that we're probably going to retest this breakout point. And if it gets rejected, we're going to move down to those support levels I just mentioned. INDA for Sean. Hit resistance, backing off now. Quarterly support right down here at around 52.75 for an extreme pullback, looking at 52 bucks a share. You have a nice volume shelf that coincides there as well. But I do think we're going to get a pullback here. Nice reversal bar on Friday, maybe not. Look for consolidation along this line. 53 to, 53, 54 bucks a share. Any overshoot to the downside, maybe at around 53 bucks a share, that becomes more interesting. But we did reverse on Friday. Volume was light, but it was higher on Wednesday and Thursday. Oh, this is India. India's had such a heck of a run. This is a monthly chart. We're now negative on the month. You have quarterly support down here at 53.80. The numbers keep coming back to around a 53 handle on this to make it interesting. I think that this is longer term, a great position. India is only growing. Their demographics are good. They're taking business away from China. Longer term, bullish. Shorter term, we have a reversal month. I'm a little bit skeptical. OSCR. Oscar Health. If this is a health insurer, this is a rough business to be in right now. I would prefer UNH at 260 for a short-term swing trade, CNS, MOH for a short covering rally. I'm not seeing a lot of reason to go buying this stock right now. We're struggling. I don't see a reason to buy it. We're in a consolidation range. It's a horrible sector right now. It's not beaten up. I don't see any edge. Looks like I went over this one a long while ago. Yeah, you can see the support zone right down here. Great support. Maybe we're going to put in a higher low. How do you know definitively that it's a buy? On a close above this pivot point here, 16.50 per share. I'll become very bullish on the stock. Right now, I have other names in the space that I like better for trades and investments, so I'm going to avoid this one. Not a great setup. URA, man, what a monster. What's going on here? There we go. Oh my God. It's doing a retest again. This thing is insane. Look at that breakout last week above quarterly resistance. This is a weekly chart. Yes, your eyes are not wrong. Weekly chart, but overlaid here is also quarterly resistance in dash line, and in solid line is weekly support. It's going up higher. It wants to go. Look at the volume here. They tried to take it down. They couldn't. Reverse the close up. Bullish. Bullish. Going up. CLX. Clorox. Man, this heyday was back in COVID. To be fair here, we have broken out of a downtrend channel. This is my trend line. So we had broken out here the week of July the 14th. We had follow through, no retest yet. I would like to have seen that. Volume has been pretty good. And staples, the XLP, I mentioned this on my healthcare stock video today, is setting up for a very nice breakout. So CLX, you have quarterly resistance immediately above at 133. Let's call it 133. Then after that, you're going to have resistance up at 137, 138. Let's go daily view. You're going to get a retest of support between 129.42 and 128.50. I'm a buyer nibbling on the stock at those support levels. I would add more on a rally and a close above 132 per share. That means it's continuing to put in higher lows and higher highs. The momentum is beginning to build on CLX, and I like the staple space. ADA. Bullish. Weekly breakout last week. Watch for a retest of $1.85. I'm a buyer at that price point. If it doesn't retest and it just breaks out and closes above, let's call it 222, I would buy more. So bullish on ADAG. And that leaves us off, folks, with a close at 7 o'clock of this live stream. Hey, folks, please like, subscribe. You know the deal. And don't forget TrendSpider, link below on YouTube, link above on Facebook and Twitter. Get my discount code, 35% off, CON35. Everybody have an awesome and profitable trading week. Stay healthy and be well. Do-do-do-do. Closing music. Do-do-do-do. You're welcome, Lester. Tim, you're welcome. Pat, you're welcome. Well, if you ever doubted Bob's sincerity, it's the same report we got last week. So, yeah. Okay.